What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you stopping by for the first time, if you see something that you like here today, please don't forget to subscribe at some point. Those of you stopping by that have been here before, welcome back to TLTG Reviews, my friends. Glad you came see me. So today, I'm bringing you something a little bit different, but not too far outside the box. Today, I'm bringing you 10 fragrances that'll really separate you from the crowd. We're not talking crazy artistic niche, but we are talking about fragrances that most likely people around you won't be wearing. It'll really set you apart from the crowd. Stay tuned. So jumping right off into the first one is actually quite beloved by anybody that's really a big fan of iris heavy fragrances or Dior Homme intense kind of smelling fragrances. This doesn't really smell just like it. It's a more resinous take on, and it's kind of similar in many ways, just not as sickeningly sweet. It's from Givenchy. It's, gentlemen, Eau de Parfum. This is a fantastic fragrance that will set you apart from the crowd. I'm willing to bet, wow, I'm willing to bet, unless you have a couple really big fragrance lovers that are into it like you are and like I am, around you, nobody around you is going to be smelling this. Smelling like this, I mean, what's the likelihood? There's always that possibility. But if you like orris slash iris, it's not so much lipsticky as it is floral and powdery. That's why I say the comparison to Dior Homme Intense is kind of there, but it doesn't give off the same smell. This is more balsamic and resinous, and the sweetness really comes from those resins. The Tolu Balsam in here kind of really stands out with the orris, and the orris is a more kind of buttery take. It has a richness to it. The orris root is the base of the iris flower, and it just has a butteriness, kind of different density and creaminess with still having that iris smell. It's just much richer, and you mix it with all the resins that are in here, and I'm telling you, you're definitely going to separate yourself from the crowd. You wear something like this to work or to an event or out to dinner, it's going to be a conversation starter because it doesn't fill a room, but people can absolutely smell you when you're wearing Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum, and it is a fantastic fragrance to get you smelling different from everyone else. Next, this is one that just doesn't really get a lot of love. I did a full review a few weeks back on it, and it's an underrated fragrance in its own line. It's a flanker of a flanker. It's from Giorgio Armani. It's Acqua di Gio. Absolute Instinct. This is a much darker take on the Acqua di Gio line, the DNA, and then the Absolute flanker. This is a flanker of that, which is a great fragrance. It's kind of underrated in its own right, really and truly. But the seaweed and the ebony wood kind of make this one a bit different. It's mainly that ebony wood really darkens it up. The ebony wood and the amber wood are very prominent in this. The seaweed kind of gives off a little bit of a bitter marine quality without adding any real saltiness to it like seaweed can tend to sometimes. Very good performer. In my experience, definitely pulls compliments. And while everybody around you may be wearing Acqua di Gio or Acqua di Gio Profumo, because that's very popular as well, they're probably not going to guess that you're wearing an Acqua di Gio fragrance because this doesn't smell just like the other Acqua di Gios in the line. Absolute Instinct will definitely separate you from the crowd. It's not the most popular fragrance. It's probably the least popular fragrance in the line. And I can almost assure you, you're not going to smell like everyone else around you. Give this one a try before it's gone. Acqua di Gio, Absolute Instinct. Next, this had a lot of mixed reviews when it came out last year. I personally love it. A little too hot right now to wear it for me, but it kind of gained a lot of comparisons when launched to Baccarat Rouge 540. I get some similarities, but I find it really does its own thing. It's from Parfums de Marly. It's cologne. This is polarizing right here. Some people love it, such as myself. Some people can't stand this fragrance. This is definitely one you need to sample. A, because it's polarizing. B, because it is not cheap. Absolutely don't blind buy this. But it kind of gives off kind of a rubbery spiciness. As strange as that may sound, it just works. I really dig the way this one smells. It's an all-day spray for me. Man, it's been a little while since I've smelled it. And it absolutely projects pretty dang heavy for hours and hours. I smell it floating in the air. I love the way this one smells. This is one that you got to judge for yourself because not everybody likes this. This isn't a mass appealing fragrance. None of these are, to say the least. But it will separate you from the crowd. Every time I've ever worn this to work, somebody's had something to say because they've never smelled anything like it before. You know, it's much, much spicier than the Baccarat Rouge 540. And I love a good spicy fragrance. And if you like spicy fragrances and you want something a little bit different from just wearing Spice Bomb, sample Cologne from Parfums de Marly. Maybe get you a decant. This might be the one for you. And you're definitely going to set yourself apart from the crowd wearing something like this. Next, this is another one that it's actually the least favorite for a lot of people in this line, but it's not my least favorite in the line. I think it's great and very unique, especially for this time of year. It's an aquatic fragrance that features a dense, creamy almond note. Garland L'Homme Ideal Sport. Did a review on this one about a month or so ago as well. I think this one is unfairly underrated. In the comment section in that video, there's a lot of people that do enjoy it, more than I thought, but it did get mixed reviews when it came out. Nobody talks about it much. I think this is another, all of these need to be sampled. I wouldn't blind buy any of these. Definitely sample this one. This will set you apart. This isn't your standard freshie that everybody around you is going to be wearing. This isn't Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense. This damn sure isn't Dior Sauvage or Dylan Blue or Coach or Versace Man Eau Fraiche or Versace Pour Homme. All the usual suspects for a great summertime fragrance. This smells nothing like any of those. Very unique, very different. Will absolutely separate you from the crowd. Your crowd, the crowd you're around most of the time. Don't think about everybody else. Think about your situation. Sample this one, try it out. You may like it just as much as I do. I wouldn't suggest these fragrances to you if I didn't think they were good fragrances. I thoroughly enjoy them, and this is one of them. Garland L'Homme Ideal Sport. Criminally underrated. Definitely separates you from the crowd. This is just a beautiful fragrance. Not everybody has it. Really, fragrant lovers are the ones that know about this. Your average person that wears fragrances every day, wears a cologne or a perfume, as they call them, has no idea about this fragrance, most likely. Most likely. But you, as a fragrance lover and enthusiast, absolutely have heard of Oud Lemon Mint from Mancera. This is gorgeous. Bit too powerful for the summer. The name can be misleading. I mean, you can absolutely wear this in the summer. Whew, man, man, man. I advise you be very cautious with the sprays because this is a strong fragrance. You'll get real cloying and choke yourself out in the summer if you're going to wear it in this super high heat. If you live in the southern region like I do, where it's very, very hot right now. There's heat waves going on all over. But the rest of the year, very potent, very beautiful lemon that gets very creamy by the oud. The oud and lemon mixing together in this one is gorgeous. There's a lot of other notes that are really making it creamy because there's another fragrance on this list that's oud and lemon that doesn't smell like this. That actually kind of works a little better for the summer. But this is a performer, and I can assure you, the people you work with, your friends that you hang out with, like I said before, unless they're big time into fragrances, they definitely don't have this one. And you're not going to smell like anybody else you know. And they're going to want to know, what in the world are you wearing? That smells great. With Mancera, Oud Lemon Mint. Next, I don't have anything that smells like this fragrance. I was floored the first time I smelled it. I was compelled to do a full review on it. It's from Samy Andraus Fragrances. It's called Forte di Acqua. Definitely unique as far as the fragrances I have. It's very floral with a prominent hawthorn note, but it's very, very watery aquatic at the same time. Orange blossom really adds to that floral quality, but the hawthorn is just so present and so prominent in this one. And like I said, it has such a strong watery quality to it, and there's no notes that would really scream watery aquatic to me. I mean, it's got some lemon and lavender, some ambroxan, musk, and then the two florals, the orange blossom and the hawthorn. I don't know how and why it makes this smell, but man, is it beautiful. Wow, and it's powerful too. For a summer fragrance, very, very powerful. You spray this one on, if people smell you, which is definitely strong enough to smell through a mask, I will tell you that in the first couple of hours, they're going to be interested and curious on what that is because they've never smelled anything like it before. I know that was the case with me. When I first got this, I had never smelled anything like Forte di Acqua before. This is a very, and just like Garland L'Homme EDP Sport, another unique hot weather fragrance. Get your hands on this one. They're cheap. Samy Andraus is linked below. There's links for all these fragrances down below. Check this one out. You won't be disappointed with Forte di Acqua from Samy Andraus Fragrances. Next, you know, citrus fragrances and fragrances with tea notes. That's nothing new, you know. A lot of people really thoroughly enjoy a good tea fragrance, and this is absolutely a great tea fragrance. But the way the citruses are done with this, it smells like genuine, authentic, squeezed bergamot, and it's just so lemony, orangey, fresh. And the Earl Grey in this is amazing. It's from Kierin NYC. Sunday Brunch. This is not your standard citrus freshie. Yes, it's extremely citrus dominant in the opening. It's gorgeous. It's actually my scent of the day today. Because at the recording of this, it's not, but at the day it's releasing, it's my scent of the day. And I can assure you I'm enjoying it because I love the way this fragrance smells. This is one of my happy fragrances. The tea is so calming. The citrus up top is a pick-me-up. And then the Earl Grey tea just kind of smooths over. It's very calming, beautiful, and relaxing. This is not your standard citrus freshie. And they're not overly priced for a niche fragrance. And I can assure you, the quality doesn't get much better than Kierin NYC for sure. They come in 50 milliliter bottles. I hold it like this because that's how the label is. To display it, it's best to hold it like that. Fantastic atomizers, animal cruelty free, vegan friendly. The creative director for the company is a fantastic person, Mona. Shout out to you if you see this video. Great fragrances. Nitro Noir, another one, favorite of mine, my favorite from the house. But this runs a close race. If you need a good citrus fragrance that doesn't smell like all the other citrus fragrances, I can assure you, you're definitely going to separate yourself from the crowd with Sunday Brunch from Kierin NYC. For as fresh an orange blossom type of floral this is in the opening, the oud is extremely wearable in the heat. The tonka bean that comes in the dry down is a bit on the powdery side, but if you like stuff like that, and I mean this stuff smells expensive, and it's not cheap. It's not a cheap fragrance by any means, but it's from Kajal. It's Kajal Homme. Versatility is thy name. This is the most versatile fragrance from Kajal. It's a performer. It smells fantastic. Look at that atomizer. Man, another one I strongly urge you to sample and try because this is a beautiful fragrance. And I can assure you, you're not going to smell like everybody around you. This has it for as versatile of a compound as this comes off as. It's quite unique to my nose. It's got a richness without being too dense. It's light and airy without being too light and ozonic. It's powdery and wears a little heavy in the dry down without being cloying and overbearing. It can dress up, it can dress down. You can go t-shirt to tie. It's just a great fragrance. And I can assure you, this is a luxury brand that probably a lot of your friends haven't even heard of, or your coworkers. You're definitely not going to smell like anyone else around you when you're rocking Kajal Homme. Now, if you got a lot of friends that are big time into fragrances, might be a different case because this is great and they may have heard of it. But I encourage you, sample it because this might be the one for you. This is a keeper for life on my niche list. This is a great fragrance and definitely going to separate you from the crowd if you wear Kajal Homme. Next, this is that other lemon and oud fragrance I was talking about that kind of wears a little bit better in the heat, I find. It works very well for that. It's from Byredo, Oud Immortel. So the limoncello in this one, the oud's very prominent, don't get me wrong. But the limoncello is just so beautiful in this fragrance. Gotta love that magnetic cap. This stuff is something special. I don't wear it enough. I've only worn it a handful of times since I got this bottle because I got to really be in the mood for oud and lemon. And it is beautiful and it's compliment getting because it doesn't smell like everything else. This is such a good fragrance. It really is. Byredo's got a bunch of great fragrances. Bal d'Afrique, I guess is how you say that. I've never heard anyone pronounce it before. I'm just going off of all the pictures I see on Instagram of the bottle. Seems to be the favorite from the house for everyone. I have not tried that one. I will get my nose on it one day, but I can assure you, Eau d'Immortelle is fantastic, versatile, strong enough to cut through the cold, yet not too dense and heavy, with that limoncello freshening it up to where you go easy on the trigger. You just do 2 sprays. You can wear this one in the summer, no problem. I'm gonna spray it one more time. Speaking of, I just want to smell it again. Fantastic atomizer. Man, this is one of those wearable ouds for the summertime, and I absolutely encourage you. If you haven't tried this one, sample it. You may end up loving it. That's Eau d'Immortelle from Byredo. And last but not least, this is a recent acquisition to the collection. I did a full review about 2 or 3 weeks ago on it, and it's definitely very unique in my own collection, I can assure you. Not too heavy and not too light. I feel like this can be worn year round, and it is extremely unique, and it is from Amouroud. It is white Hinoki. The Hinoki wood in this, it's a citrusy smoky wood, and it's got a boozy accord in here that just make this gorgeous scent. This gorgeous scent. It doesn't change a lot. It's relatively linear. Just about everything you get in the opening is what you're going to get throughout. A few things fade off and a few base notes come up, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same smell throughout. This is fantastic. I can assure you, no one around you is going to smell like you, because I'm sure there's other fragrances that have Hinoki wood in it. It's the only time I've ever smelled Hinoki wood, and it's extremely unique, and it is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. There's a link below if you want to check white Hinoki out as well with the coupon code. The stuff is fantastic, super powerful too, without being too much. Whew, man, it'll get you through your workday, no problem, without being just, like I said, the last time I wore it, it was still going on my skin. I had to just go ahead and take my shower and get it off. It's all day and then some. The projection's just right. It's not too much. And you're absolutely going to separate yourself from the crowd with something like white Hinoki. You are not going to smell like your coworkers or your friends. I can assure you of that with white Hinoki. Make sure you sample this one and check it out, because it's not cheap and it's very unique and different. Make sure to sample this one. Don't just go in blind and buy a bottle, because you may not like it, but I can tell you right now, I absolutely adore the way this one smells. Once again, that's white Hinoki from Amouroud. Well guys, that's my 10. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried some of these? Some of these, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of all of these, but have you tried them? This is definitely, like the description and title of the video, is going to separate you from the crowd, because 9.9 times out of 10, your average coworker and friend of yours has never heard of any of these. And they're interesting, they're powerful for the most part, and they smell great. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these and you do what the shirt says, who knows? I gotta say it anyway. You give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.